Hello and welcome back to another Shadowlands Goldmaking video. So the launch of Shadowlands is getting closer and closer, and we are soon ready to step foot inside that new expansion. And with that, I want to cover what my plans are for Shadowlands, because they have changed a little bit over time since I made my last Shadowlands plans video, mostly because of the addition of World Drop Epic items, which is sellable. So that is pretty much what I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to talk about my approach to Shadowlands, and my priorities, which classes I'm leveling first, which professions I'm going for and why, and how I'm going to make gold. So let's just jump right into it. First, I've booked 2 weeks of work so I can completely no-life Shadowlands. This is important to keep in mind because my plans involves leveling a lot of characters and farming a lot of gold, and this is how I am able to do exactly that. So for the actual release, I'm planning on leveling my monk first. My monk will have tailoring and skinning, and will be my mob farming character, aka my group farming character. I think this will be extra beneficial the first couple of weeks, depending on the item level of those epic items, but it will still be worth more early on than later in the game, so doing that early is always good. Being a tailor gives me extra cloth from humanoids while doing these farms, and being a skinner allows me to skin beasts if we happen to farm beasts as well. I will spend most of my time on this character farming group farms like I just mentioned, but since I just booked 2 weeks of work, there will be some time where I have nothing to do or I will get bored, in which case I will start leveling my other characters. My plan is to have at least 2, but preferably 3 level 60s in those first 2 weeks. My next character to be leveled up will be my druid, which will have herbalism and mining. This will allow me to farm gold easily with herbalism and mining, which is always at high value early in new expansions, especially now that multi-boxing has been heavily nerfed. Having this character also allows me to farm gold solo, so I don't have to rely on being able to join a group or make a group to farm those group farms, and considering how much free time I will have during the first 2 weeks, being able to farm solo is always a good thing. My initial plan was to level this character first, but after the addition of World Drop Epic items I really want to level my monk first, and give that a go as quickly as possible, and then just level up my druid after a day or 2. After this I will level up my warlock, which is actually intended to be my main in Shadowlands. Yes, I'm leveling my quote main as my 3rd character. This character will have inscription and blacksmithing to obtain some craftable items locked behind reputation, like for example Shadowghast armor, locked behind honored reputation for blacksmithing, and contracts and missives for inscription. I will feed this character herbs and ores from my druid, so I got more than enough materials to actually level up those professions and craft the things I want to craft. One small advice for people actually watching this video: milling herbs and selling those pigments can make you a lot of gold early in new expansions when people are making Dark Moon cards. You're welcome. Before raiding starts happening, I also want to pick up alchemy on my rogue, but I do not need to level this character. I simply need to get it to Ouroboros and pick up alchemy, so I can start crafting potions, flasks and weapon oils before the mythic raids open. Having that rogue will also allow me to open lockboxes, if lockboxes are a thing in Shadowlands. So just to give a quick summary so far, Character 1 will be a monk with tailoring and skinning, Character 2 will be a druid with herbalism and mining, Character 3 will be a warlock with inscription and blacksmithing, which will also be my main character. Character 4 will be a rogue with alchemy. Once I actually get myself to level 60, which should be done fairly quickly, since I have already practiced leveling in certain zones on the Shadowlands beta, so I'm somewhat familiar with the quests, I will then test different farming locations to find the best ones, and I will obviously make videos on them, but I will also farm them. I usually test a location for a minimum of 1 hour, but usually even longer as well, before I make a video on it, just to get some accurate data on the location to see if it's good or not. If Shadowlands is anything like BFA, any hyperspawn location that is deemed too good by Blizzard will get nerfed really quickly. Like in BFA, we found one location, then it got nerfed, we found another, and that one got nerfed, and we just kept doing that on repeat until they simply couldn't nerf it anymore. Granted, some locations were insanely good because mobs had lower health and defense values, giving insane amounts of kills per hour, and that's what we're trying to find again in the Shadowlands. And once we find it, it's all about being there before it gets nerfed. When it comes to the actual content I will make, I will try to find gold farms for everyone, not just hyperspawn locations. This includes group farms, solo farms, herbalism and mining routes, and fishing farms. Dark Moon cards have always been a good way to make gold early in new expansions, so if you want to make some gold by crafting stuff, that could be a potential gold mine. You also have the option of crafting base legendary items and selling those, aka the Shadow Ghast armor from blacksmithing and so on, and basically pretty much every profession has some sort of craftable item for gold making, I think. When it comes to your plan for gold making in Shadowlands, there's many routes you can take. You can copy mine and level up farmers first, or you can level up your main first, that's up to you. If you want to level up your main first and you plan on doing a lot of dungeons, here's an advice on how you can make some extra gold semi-passively. Grab tailoring and enchanting. Having tailoring will allow you to loot more gold from humanoids while doing daily activities, such as dungeons, world quests and raids, and having enchanting allows you to disenchant all the gear you no longer have any use for, or any gear you find which is not good enough to equip as well. Disenchanting items will usually give a better return than vendoring them, so that's another somewhat passive way to make gold, especially now that they have changed enchanting in Shadowlands again, so you can no longer turn dust into shards and shards into crystals like you could before, which means that enchanting and disenchanting will once again be pretty valuable, especially early on. When it comes to why I'm leveling my farmers first, I'm really not planning on raiding or anything during the first patch of Shadowlands. I am, however, planning to raid in the last patch, because that's usually when gold making possibilities arrive from raiding, because you can usually sell ahead of the curve runs at the end of the expansion, which gives people a mount. I'm also really hoping and thinking we can sell some sort of Torghast boosts in either 9.2 or 9.3 once people get really good geared as well. So basically, having a good character will be really worth it later down the line, but in the beginning of Shadowlands, having herbalism and mining and doing those types of farms is just insanely valuable, and the actual value of any Shadowlands gold farm will go down over time, so I'm just looking to capitalize on the gold farms while they are at peak value. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my plans for Shadowlands right now. Level up some farming characters, farm some gold, craft some stuff, and sell some stuff, and eventually level up and gear up my main as well, and try to find a raiding guild. I hope you guys are as excited for Shadowlands as I am, because I am so bored of BFA by this point, and I need something new. Let me know in the comments down below what your Shadowlands plans are, and as always, I will see you again very soon.